What if I told you the most powerful SEN strategy in your school or nursery isn't a visual schedule? It's not a sensory corner or a social story. Those are all good. But what if the most important strategy is you? A new report out found that 76% of educators say that meeting the diverse needs of children, those with SEN in their setting, is their biggest challenge right now. 76%. So that's a majority, a vast majority. When I dig deeper into that, what actually is behind that number, it's not lack of training, it's not lack of compassion, it's exhaustion, overwhelm, running on empty, trying to pour from a cup that was empty before the school day even started. So in this video, I want to talk about what's really going on and what you can do about it. I'm Rowena Hicks. I spent over 30 years in education. As a teacher, SENCO, deputy head. I've written books on this and I burnt out. That means I know very personally what happens when we stop looking after ourselves. So let's get into this. Here's what nobody talks about, especially in special needs, in conversations about SEN. Yes, we talk about strategies and they matter, but we almost never talk about the state of the person delivering those strategies. I once watched a very experienced practitioner go to support a 4-year-old. He was a boy having a really difficult transition. She had the visual resources, she'd done the prep, she'd done everything right. But that morning, she dealt with 2 parent complaints and she'd covered a colleague's session. By the time she reached that child, she was not internally regulated. She was not calm. And he felt every bit of it. He picked that up. Because here's the thing. Children with SEN don't just read your words. They're reading your nervous system, your heart rate, your breathing, the quality of your attention, the tension that you're holding in your shoulders that you think you're hiding. And when the adult is dysregulated, the child's dysregulation doesn't settle, it deepens. Now, I want to say this really clearly. There's no judgment here. I haven't always got this right, not by a long stretch. This isn't about blame. This is about understanding what's actually happening. Because then we can do something about it, can't we? If you look around any setting, nursery, primary, secondary school, really look at your colleagues. You'll see people who are quietly, completely depleted. And the troubling thing is that we've started to accept that as normal, haven't we? The tight chest before Monday morning, the inability to switch off at home, the irritability you can't quite explain, as if you're going through the motions. And these aren't character flaws, these are stress symptoms. And we've normalized them to the point that we don't even name them or even notice them sometimes anymore. But here's the question that I think changes everything. What version of you does that child with SEN actually need? They need your most regulated self, don't they? Your most creative self, your most present, warm, patient self. When you're surviving, you can't access that version of you. Your window of tolerance narrows. The very empathy and skill you've spent years developing becomes genuinely harder to reach. The children who need you most need the best of you. And right now, too many of us are giving them whatever we have left after everything else is taken. It's taken its toll, hasn't it? So what are we going to do? I know you're not here for a talk that simply names the problem, are you? I want to start somewhere that might feel basic, might feel simple, but I promise you it isn't. Can you think of one moment in the last week where you made a difference? One pupil you reached, a colleague you steadied, a small thing that wouldn't have happened if you hadn't shown up. Take a moment, actually think. I wonder how long that took you. For most people, it takes a while. It's much harder than we think because our brains, especially stressed brains, are wired to find out what's wrong, to look for what's wrong. It's a survival mechanism, kept our ancestors alive, but it's not serving us right now. We have to deliberately, consciously rewire our thinking. And that's not soft language, it's neuroscience. It takes approximately 40 days of consistent practice to begin forming new neural pathways. 40 days. That's why I created my 40-day journal, because the research says that's what it actually takes. Not a weekend workshop, 40 days of noticing differently. You are making an impact every single day. The problem isn't that the impact isn't there. The problem is that we have stopped looking for it. I want to leave you with this. The children in your care, especially those with special needs, they're not looking for perfect. They're not looking for an adult with all the answers. They're looking for a regulated, present human being who believes they are worth showing up for. And you already are that person. You just need to start protecting your capacity to be them. Your well-being isn't a luxury. It isn't self-indulgence. It is the intervention. If today's video has resonated, I'd love you to leave a comment below. Maybe share it with someone who needs it. The link to the 40-day journal will be in the show notes. Take care of yourself. You are so worth it.